Brexit Deal.
So what's been happening in the world of Brexit? Well, as usual with Brexit, absolutely loads and nothing at all. The EU and the UK government have spent the last 2 years deciding exactly how Brexit will happen. So how the UK leaves the EU. It's called the Withdrawal Agreement. They agreed to this back in November, but the UK Parliament also had to agree in order to make it official. And they rejected it by a record majority. Some people say that in any other universe, after such a defeat, the Prime Minister would resign. But this is Brexit universe, so the usual norms don't apply. Instead, the leader of the opposition, Jeremy Corbyn, called a no-confidence vote in order to try to force her out. But the very next day, May survived the no-confidence vote. Again. She's become the living, walking embodiment of a zombie. So why is she still walking? The virgin blood that she drinks to survive comes from the Democratic Unionist Party of Northern Ireland, who has promised to keep her safe in any threats to her leadership. But they withdraw their life support the minute she supports any deal that includes something that they're completely against. For example, the Irish backstop. The last thing the DUP want is Jeremy Corbyn leading the government, particularly because of his views on Sinn Féin. This is why they keep giving the votes to keep Mrs May in number 10. So May gets stuck in this half-dead state between not getting anything passed, but also not being removed from government. After her resurrection, May called meetings with other party members to try to find out what it takes to get something passed through Parliament on Brexit. All parties want no deal off the table. Corbyn won't even speak to May until she promises it won't happen. But she says that's impossible, and she has some very prominent members of her own party who support no deal. Others are calling for at least an extension to the deadline in March. And many others are calling for the possibility of a second referendum. May is saying no to all of these options. So, we're still at deadlock, but the clock is fucking ticking. Does that mean the current deal's dead? Probably in its current form, but that doesn't mean Mrs May is giving up on it just yet. It's on life support, much like her, until someone can find something that people agree to, or there's some movement in some direction. Everyone who wants it is counting on Corbyn to back a second referendum. All other parties support it, but it needs Labour's backing as the official opposition party in order to get the ball moving. But Corbyn is quietly pro-Brexit. He wants to call another general election, hoping that Labour would win. He then gets to renegotiate the withdrawal agreement and deliver the Brexit of his dreams. But the majority of Labour Party members want a second referendum, so whether he'll be able to withstand that pressure is something else. So that's as much as I can tell you about Brexit so far.